Okay, and I will now introduce this month's guest. Let's see. It's Corinne Russell. Corinne is a devoted spiritual seeker, she's dedicated to exploring the depths of consciousness and the interconnectedness of all existence. With a profound belief in the power of love, compassion, and inner transformation, she has embarked on a journey of self-discovery and enlightenment. She practices meditation, mindfulness, and other contemplative techniques to cultivate presence and awareness in everyday life. She believes in the importance of inner peace and harmony as the foundation for creating a more compassionate and sustainable world. And that's what attracted me to her. Definitely.
I like that person, whoever that is.
Whoever that is. Her website and Facebook and email contacts were included in the email that were sent out to everybody. So I will again put them in the email that goes out later this week with the recording. So if you want to contact her, as I did, you can find her at one of those places.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. And now I think we'll just turn it over to you, Corinne. You can tell us all about all of the wonderful things you do, but focus on those Akashic records we have questions about.
Oh, okay. So I don't know have most people here heard about the Akashic records? Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be, it's more and more prevalent nowadays than it ever has been before. It's kind of like the new buzzword in psychic medium work. And I will say that the Akashic is just an energetic, it's an energetic library. I'm going to call it a library, but it's an energetic vibration where all the energy of your soul has been stored from the beginning of your soul. So through your through the lifetimes that you've led on this planet or other planets, or just being up there in the universe, it has kept the records of what you've learned to date, all your feelings, all your expressions of life, how you've lived your life, who you've been with, and it keeps record of what you're here to learn as well. Like it keeps the record of what we're here on the planet Earth for, because it's not sometimes this lifetime has its challenges and lessons, but it's also they're brought forward from other lifetimes because we have left them unfinished. So it kind of, if that's what we've asked to finish up in this lifetime, then they will bring that forward in through the people that surround us, through the people that we interact with, through our families, through living life here in the third dimension. So having said that, it's also a very great healing place. So when people get an Akashic record reading done, it's a place of healing. It's not, you can go in there, it's not meant to be, you're not meant to go in there and start finding out what your future is and where you're going to be in 10 years. It's not like that at all. That's more a psychic medium thing. That's more we can do that. You can do that on the other side. But in the Akashic records are about your heart chakra, and they're about healing there. And when I go into, I'll speak to my experience with the Akash. When I do an Akashic reading, they will always take me to the lifetime that is most relevant to the one that you've got here now. Like the lesson that you're supposed to be learning or how you felt in that lifetime is presented to me, and then they present it to me in pictures, and I can see it, and then I interpret it, and then I just know what they want me to talk to you about. And so we start talking about that. And then the Akashic Record Masters are also, I don't want to say, because I know they don't tell you what to do, but they can certainly guide you into making a different decision than what you're making now, just by presenting the facts. It's not that they want to tell you what to do. It's just that they would like to guide you into where the next steps are, because that's one thing that I I say challenge them on, because it's not just enough just to bring it up that you're in an unhappy marriage. It's not just enough to say, well, you're not, they need to also tell you how, or give you hope that there's a different way to live the life now, right? Or how you can better live your life in this moment in time, so that you get some relief from the emotions that they're bringing up. Um, so when you do that, the other thing too is it's not also about this life, and there's also things like that you wouldn't even know was on your radar. Like I had in one of my lifetimes, I could see everything so clearly. I was an English lady in a park, and we were walking along with my husband and my daughter, and I could see that my husband got shot. He got shot in the knee, so he lived. He was fine. Well, he lived, but he couldn't do what he did for a living. So we ended up being isolated in the house, and when we got isolated in the home that we lived in, um, my daughter got smallpox and she died. And this was something that my body and myself carried into this lifetime. Like it was the first thing, like looking when I first started to go down this, that was the first thing that came, was this lifetime with this story that came forward. And when it came through, I could feel the agony, like just the agony and if you know me, I'm emotional, but I'm not ridiculous emotional. This made me ridiculous emotional. Like I could just feel it. And so um I just want to say that, and once that released, I spent the next probably 2 years with my daughter in my meditations, talking to her, holding her, telling her how much I loved her. I could hear her in my head. It's mommy this, mommy that. Like it was quite profound. And and then I knew when it was time to say goodbye to her, and I could let her go. So that's my experience in there. Like, but you'll have your own experiences in there because you have lived your lives and your experiences. Um, it was just interesting how something it was just I'm not a person who is I am imaginative because I'm creative, but I'm not a person who is like I know I'm not hallucinating this. It just felt so real. And that's the thing when you start with doing psychic and medium work, when you get that feeling that you've stepped back and your higher self has stepped in, you can feel your actual ego shut off, and you can feel um, that energy, the 3D energy shut down, so that it allows the 5D and the 6D and the higher dimensions to come down to give you the messages that the person in front of you needs to hear, because there's no judgment in it. And I can actually have, and when I'm doing this, my voice actually changes. Like as soon I know they're here, because when I start talking, this is how I normally talk. But then when the loving messages start coming, my voice goes lower, and I could feel the loving coming through my voice when I'm talking with people. And it's not something that I'm doing. It just naturally happens. So I know when the switch has been made and the healing is there for them. So I just want to go back to the healing part. The healing in the Akash can be done by by a prayer, and I always call in the angels, and I have seen it to where they've come in with people in their lifetimes who, of course, remember that it was very torturous back then in a lot of those lifetimes, like, and you didn't live a long time. So usually you have you have been the good guy and you've been the bad guy. You've been a man and you've been a woman. I mean, what you want to do is make sure that you have fairly even. So you've had as many lifetimes as a man as a woman, so that you're balanced. That's one of the keys they like for us. But when you go into the healing, you can actually feel, like I'll do a prayer, a healing prayer, and I can see Archangel Michael come down and pick the person up and take them and ascend with them. And the healing it comes down. And then when you follow up with people, you can see that they feel lighter, like they are feeling lighter in their life, like something has changed, something has clicked. I mean, I'm not a miracle. I'm just saying that part, that part that was affecting them has changed, and they can feel that. So it's good. The other thing too, I forgot to mention, and I'll just go back when we're talking about the Akash, the vibration of your name is very important when you go into the Akashic records. So when I do an Akashic record reading, there's a thing called a key, and it's like unlocking the door to the Akash. And also your name is very important, and it has to be like your full legal name, and it's your full legal name that would be on your passport, because even though you've been born with a name, when you change your name, your vibration changes. So you say an opening prayer to allow you to call on the record masters to allow you to receive messages for somebody, and you have to repeat their name, and then you open the records. And so that's how it starts. And it's almost like if you premeditate before you go into a reading. If you're just doing a psychic medium reading, you just kind of prepare yourself. So it's just kind of saying, I would like to go into the records, and this is who I'm going in for. So, and then we also definitely close the records at the end of the reading so that the energy gets left where it needs to be left. So that's one thing I wanted to say about that. But the records can also help you for yourself. Like, it's not a case of me having to come read. Linda Howe was probably the first person that I ever recognized as the Akashic Records. She wrote books. She's got lots of books. Linda Howe. And then there's another girl, and I don't have her name right now, but I also when I took my Akashic record reading course, or I took it with Val from Dragonfly Crystals, and she did a great, it was very affordable. It was a 2-hour class, and it was, she gave you the key to get in. She gave you the meditation, and she gave you the closing prayer. So, I mean, again, like anything with the metaphysical, it's practice. Like, it's practice. The more practice you have, the bigger your muscle gets built, and the more, and also you learn to, when you're doing that, you're learning your own symbols, and you're learning your own way of reading things, because how I read the Akash may not be the way somebody else reads it. Like, we have the same basics in it, but for me, a lot of I have my own symbols for when I'm in there that give me the mess that I've learned just in my readings that means something to me. It may not mean anything to you. Like, a lot of times I see a canoe and you're always in the canoe, and you're always going up the river, or you're going this way. Like, and those things mean something to me, but they won't mean anything to somebody else who's reading, right? It's just my visual aids, I call them, right? So they're my own symbolism when I'm doing work. Where else was I going with that? Is there any questions? No, no questions. Oh, okay, Nancy.
Sorry, my
That's
finger's
okay.
not unmuting myself. So, and I don't know that much specifically about the Akashic Records, but as you're describing it, is it's similar to people who just talk about doing past life readings, or is it a different mechanism that is
Well,
happening?
it is. It's very similar. The only difference is I'm the one reading the records for somebody, whereas if you're doing a past life reading, your higher self is giving you the information, and you're hypnotized, right? But they both are a means to an end. I will say that. Like, I think it's our job as metaphysical practitioners and people exploring that to keep exploring, because I think what's coming forward for people is that we're able to communicate easier. Like, the people who, like, people say from, this is my opinion, people from 20 years ago or 30 years ago that are in the trade, had their own way. Like, they created systems and they use their systems. But I think nowadays you don't have to be so systemized. Like, I think it's a lot easier now for people to connect. You just have to want to. And I think that's the difference. Like, I think right now, because they're allowing us to wake up at a rate faster than anything. Like they're allowing us to remember who we were and who we are. Like they're allowing this a lot faster because there's a means to an end. They want to get us to the fifth dimension. They want us to be in a higher frequency so that we don't have to keep suffering. Like a lot of the karma that's on the earth right now that we are fulfilling, that's coming to an end. Like we can't take that into 5D. And this is, like I said, this is my opinion. It's like, it has to be left here. We can't take that heaviness with them up into the 5D. Now we're not going to be perfect, and everybody's going to go. Everybody's going to make it. I don't want you to think that even that rotten, your rotten neighbor who you hate looking at every day when you go out the door, they're still going. They're just not going to get there as fast as you are. And it might be in the next lifetime, but we're all going to go. Like it's, because for me, I don't believe there is no evil. Like there is no evil. We are all just here on our lifetime learning, just like they are. Because if they weren't poking us and they weren't pushing our buttons and they weren't doing their role in our lives, then we were not learning. We're not learning to love ourselves. We're not learning to treat people kinder. We're not learning to have compassion. Like we can't learn those things if we don't have a contrast to it. So that's what I believe. I just believe that this is open to everybody. It's not a sacred, it's not the sacred ceremony anymore where you have to have 3 days fasting and clear your mind for for another 5, and then you're going to do a reading. It's not like that anymore. I think that we have access to this stuff because we've asked for it, and it's ours to have. Did that help, Nancy? I hope I answered your question. Okay. Did you have anything else, Mary? Did you want to know? Again, I'm not an expert, but I'm just speaking to my experience in the Akash and how it is. But if you ever get a chance, do the healing. You can do the healing in the Akash all by yourself. If you just read up on how to open, and you can get keys from anybody. Like anybody's key will work. You can just go online and look in Linda's house. She's happy to give it to people. And there's other practitioners as well. And you use that and you can go in and you can feel the difference. You can feel the difference in the guides. Like the Akashic Record Masters feel different. They're almost angelic, but they're not quite angelic. Like they're different. The more you're in there, the more you'll see the difference.
Tina.
Oh,
we can't hear you.
Sorry, I muted.
There you go.
My question is it was by chance, is our Akash just wide open all the time, readily available for anybody, or do most of us have an opportunity to keep it kind of like closer to the closer to being keeping our decks instead of, like I can't just all of a sudden without your permission, if I know Angela's middle name, I just can't say a whole Angela thing and go diving into her Akash without her.
Well, it would just, it would be unethical. Yes, it would be unethical. You would never want to be in the records without somebody's permission. And I think because a lot of our work is about intention, I don't know whether the record masters would even talk to you, like if you did that, because they know, right? Like they know. It's kind of like breaking and entering, like you're going into something that's none of your business. The only time they will talk about other people in your reading is when it pertains to you. Like when it's something that in however their life, like however they're entwined with you is how they're going to speak to. They won't talk about what if your husband, what he's going to do in 10 years, like they won't talk about that. They're only going to talk about you. And that's ethically what you should be looking at. I mean, it's the same with psychic medium stuff as well. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's not really you reading it, it's being told by the record keepers the information. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's kind of like psychic medium, only it's different. You're talking to a different set of guides. Like you're talking to the record masters as opposed to your spirit guides or the angels or your higher self. Like there is an energy shift there that you will recognize as you do it more and more and more. But the interesting thing is that people just think that the Akashic, and just because I was refreshing my stuff when I was going to do this, is that you can also read towns and houses. Like if you're going to go buy a house, you can actually read the Akash of the house, or you can read the Akash of a town, as long as it's public. Like if you were going to buy a house and that house is listed, then it means it's public. So when it's public, then it means you can read their Akashic, the houses Akashic record. And the town as well. Like if you're thinking of moving to a town or you want to go vacation in a town, you can read theirs as well, the Akashic record of the town.
Can I just say this sounds so similar to feng shui,
Probably,
like
yeah.
places kind of retaining energy.
Yeah, it's all the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's all the same. And that's the thing. It's all about energy, right? Like it's the same as being a psychic medium, right? When you're connecting in, you're still connecting into an energy. It's just with the Akashic records, it's just a little bit different because it's really more about the healing of the lifetimes than it is generally about, and the healing of this lifetime than it is about the energy of the, I don't know if that makes sense, than the energy.
Not just the residual energy of a
That's
place.
right.
It's
Yeah.
actually about healing. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Thank
right.
you. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, would you mind explaining real quick what 5D is? I feel like everybody knows about it but me.
Well, I almost want to say it's one of those woke things, but it's not. It's just a vibrational frequency that everybody's talking about. And really what you've got the 3D, which is kind of like where Earth is, and we're actually in 4D, like the psychics. So think about it. I can explain it as in a psychic medium term. So 3D is like the feet on the earth. It's the energies that are here and are solid. It's kind of like the unrest in the world. It's kind of like the bad feelings, like the greed and it's all that stuff that keeps us grounded onto the earth. Whereas now that we're all starting to wake up, we're actually moving ourselves. A lot of us are already in 4. Like we're already hovering above that, and we're in the 4, which is more spiritual. And the 5D is more like, if you think about the Lemurians and the Atlanteans and how they were in their lifetimes, where they could communicate telepathically, where they could communicate by just thinking it, why they can manifest by just thinking things. Now, I don't want you to think that this is going to happen. It's not going to be in our lifetime, even though we are in a cycle that they say by 2050 we're supposed to be in 5D, but I think it's just more of an energetic shift into there, where we're going to have more compassion for each other. We're going to be kinder to each other. It's going to come out that way on the earth. It's not to say that all the bad guys are going away, because we're still here to learn. It's still a school. Like we're still taking the hard tests. It's just that for the majority of us are going to be more compassionate to each other. We're going to be more homogenized. Like you're going to go back to more the communities where we, as a community, we take care of each other. As a community, we lift each other up. As a community, we love each other. We take care of each other, and we teach each other. Like it's going to be more communal.
Thank you. I think I'll have to read more about this.
It's like I said, it's almost a buzzword, and it's not. I mean, we're all going to get there. It's not as. I don't know if it's as important for us to learn that in this lifetime as they're making it out to be. I think it's just flavor. It's kind of like everybody's talking about it because it's like a meme.
Yeah.
But if you're just a good person and you keep enlightening yourself and you keep treating people kindly and you keep bringing your spirit up and you keep lifting yourself so that you're not down there wallowing around with the greed and the bad things in life, you're going to get there. You're there, right? And that's what it's about.
Okay, thanks.
Can I just share a real quick thing for Anna about where she can understand where the hurt and all that is? So scientifically, Anna, if you were to read a vibration, okay, there are certain vibration sounds and levels that represent certain things within our own energy. Okay, so what they're talking about with the hertz levels So if you're into sound, if you're into music, if you're into recording, if you're into any of electronics, this is where they come together, and you can see the levels of their energy being pushed out at a higher volume. Okay, so to give you an example, courage vibrates at 200 hertz. Courage. Okay, if you want to go up, you can go to acceptance, which is at 350 hertz. Okay, moving higher, love starts at 500 hertz. So if most of the planet is running around going, I gotta get courage to even get out the door,
That's right.
the vibration's not really that high.
That's it.
Not high enough. It's not forceful enough to push through and make change. It's only a little bit. It's kind of like, and I used this example earlier with Mary, it's kind of like asking your car to fly you to Seattle. It's
Right.
not going to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. So the higher ones are joy at 540 hertz, peace, internal peace is at 600 hertz. Okay. So that is like double, triple what courage feels like. Okay.
Yeah.
Peace is 3 times the amount of energy that's leaving you
Mhm.
in a measurable sense, in a measurable scientific reality. When you get to enlightenment, you're talking about 1,000 hertz. So enlightenment, when we talk about enlightenment, we're talking about raising that internal thermostat and raising that thermostat up so that nothing's impeding it. So that level of enlightenment, spirituality, connectivity, love can all flow together to make that 1,000 hertz. And it's kind of like a science class thing that they also are using with terminology of spirituality. So the level 5D starts probably around 1,000, if not higher.
Well, that's why I say it's
If
maybe not going
higher.
to be in our lifetime that we're going
Right.
to see that, but we're going to be pretty close to it. But that is excellent. That's an excellent explanation scientifically of that.
Yeah. You can see the measurements. If you want to just Google emotional frequency.
Okay.
Emotional frequency will give you the numbers that scientists have actually tracked.
Wow.
Okay. So the idea is to stay in the upper ones.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and that's part of the awakening. I think that's part of why we're awakening too. As you're talking, this is one of the things that's coming through. It's part of the awakening and how they're asking us to take responsibility for how we're feeling, and that's responsibility for how we're taking care of ourselves, how we're interacting with the world, and how we are on the earth. Like, this is what they're asking us to do, is to go inside and to really start to ask ourselves what's important, how do we want to show up, and that, it's our responsibility, and it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves, because that was one of the things they channeled through at the beginning of the year when I did a channel message. It was about going inside and us taking responsibility for our lives and how we feel. You can't keep giving it away to other people and having them take all your energy and have nothing left for yourself. Like, you need to take care of yourselves. Like, we have to start taking care of ourselves so that we can show up for ourselves. And it's not selfish, and it's not bad, and it's like the plane, right? You can't put the mask on your kids if you're struggling for air yourself. That's becoming very apparent. And people, we're all going to survive. We're all going to get there. And I think sometimes we think that, this person's doing 5 minutes better than I am. That one's doing a half an hour. Do you know what I mean? Just in regards to a visual aid here. But we're all on the same bus. Like, don't forget, we're all on the same bus. We're all going to get there. some just maybe sitting in the front because they decided to be, you know, read more or look more or be a better person. And a lot of, you know, and the bad kids are at the back of the bus because they're cool, right? You know, they're smoking, they're, you know, having a good time back there because that's important to them. Wherever you are on the bus, it doesn't matter. We're all still on the bus, right? They ask, you know, part of what I do too is I try to explain to people it's just a play down here. Like we're just playing the roles that we have signed up for. Like in this lifetime, I'm Corinne. You know, I asked to be a mother of 2 boys. I have a husband. I have a dog. Do you know what I mean? Like I have a home. Like this is the role I am playing in this lifetime, and how I'm interacting with it is it is teaching me my lessons, like that I've asked for, right? And that's, you have to start looking at things from a higher perspective. Like my spirit animal is a hawk, and it's because I'm always here looking down at things. I'm always analyzing, well, because I'm wondering why people are acting like that. I don't go to I've learned, and I'm going to say this, I have learned not to take people at face value. Like when you have people in front of you being irrational or being or just acting a little weird, go behind that, because there's always something that got them there. They didn't get there, like we didn't get here all by ourselves. There's always an underlying issue. So it's not easy being here, but when you go into spirituality, it gives you a new perspective. Like that's the one thing about becoming, or just using what I have and being doing readings for people. The healing that I get from those readings as well is just as important as the person who sits in front of me, because spirit is actually really kind of cool. Because if I am struggling with something, I am going to tell you, I will get somebody who books an appointment and they have the same problem that I have. And then the advice comes down. And just like the person sitting in front of me, I can choose to listen or I can choose to ignore. It's, you know, that's the free will that we have.
That's wonderful. Does anybody else have questions?
No.
I had a question. You were saying that you can get the key. I hope that I'm in the right internet in my house.
Yeah.
That you can get the key from anyone. You said there was a name of a woman,
Linda
I think.
Howe, Linda Howe, I think, was the first person who came up with, I'm not going to say came up with, because there was other people, like Edgar Casey was probably one of the main people who read from the Akashic Records. That's where he was getting all the sleeping prophet. He got a lot of his information from the Akashic Records to help people that would write to him. So I can just say it. I'll just give you the example of the one I say. So it's, we open ourselves to the light. And with this light, we open ourselves to our truth. And with this light, we open ourselves to our soul's purpose. And with this light, we open ourselves to be guided towards our highest good, and the highest good of all in divine love. And so, and I would say a name, is given the truth to best serve her on her healing journey into the love and acceptance that is most beneficial for her in this moment. And with this light and guidance, we unlock the energy field of person's name to receive the record of her soul. And then the records are now open. So it's a vibrational, key to tell them that you're ready to read. And your name has your signature. It's kind of like, that's the key that they go into if you want a visual, they go into the library and grab your book and then they open it up and then they will talk. And I'm telling you that they will not talk to you and tell you anything that you are not ready to hear. They will not, they just don't do that. So, or it's whatever is most important to you at this time is what they will bring forward. Did that help?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Great.
thanks so much.
So go ahead, Patty.
Yeah, I'm babysitting, so
Okay.
if I run away again, I apologize for missing something. I'm a little confused about like how did you get into this? Did you already say like
How did I get into this?
yeah, or like how did you feel like a calling for this particular thing or
Well, I've always been interested in spiritual stuff, and I'm
right.
certainly like probably most of the people here, I've had
Yeah.
lots of readings, right? Like you just, it's just something that you love.
Hmm.
And then when COVID hit, which for a lot of people, they had to step back from their lives. And then we moved while I was in COVID. So it really allowed me the opportunity to start exploring my spirituality. And the funny thing is, though, Patty, is when I sat down, um, I had a I had a reading with Susan Lynn. I don't know if any of you know her. She's quite famous. I love her. And so I schemed and worked it out, joined her thing here, joined her thing there, because I knew she was going to announce some appointments. So so I joined everything, and then as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay. So anyway, so I was fortunate to get she doesn't read anymore for anybody, but I was fortunate to have it. And so one of the things she said to me was, she said, you can do what I do. She says, she said, just do what I did when I started. She said, just do 25 readings. She said 25 readings for free, and it will clear up your block, right? And I tell you, from the moment that I sat, the nice thing about doing free readings is the fact that it takes out the anxiety of not giving somebody what they paid for, right? That's the first thing. So if you were thinking of doing readings, that's probably what I would say, is just try and read for people for free, not your friends. Actually, those are the hardest people to read for, because you know too much. So read for their people that you don't know. Those are the best people, because then you don't know anything about the person sitting in front of you and the information. And of course, as you go along, but I have to say, Patty, from the first time that I sat down with somebody till the last one, it just came. It was like a light switch was there. And so obviously it was time. It was time to start doing it. So, but yeah, if anybody's interested in doing that, just when you're reading for free, don't read your friends, read strangers. And your friends will know strangers. So, just do it that way. And then that way, the more, it's a muscle, right? It's a muscle. The more you use it, the more it comes easier.
Practice.
Yeah. And it's
Nancy,
always,
I'm sorry, Nancy, you had a question?
Yeah, I did. It's kind of a more practical, maybe question. When, so you talked about Akashic Records going into them, that it's a healing journey, and then you shared like what happened with you in that example. Do you feel like, so that would be healing a past life? Do you feel like it had something to do with what was going on in your current life, like that healing of the past reflected in a healing in the present of some form?
yes, it did. But it also, I was surprised at the energy of the loss of my daughter. I think that was something that was in my soul, like that was in the soul. That surprised me. But the same scenario, not that this husband's been shot, but the same scenario and the same, because I feel it's probably my husband now was the one I was with in that lifetime. I don't know why that energy was still there, but it was just so profound. But yes.
Did you notice, like, I don't know, kind of on reflection, like if you felt like it was the same husband, that there, maybe could be an underlying fear of him losing his job or his ability to provide, like, I don't know if you noticed like any shift.
It was
Either.
interesting because I was in that lifetime, I could feel like I blamed him for the death. Like I really blamed him for that. But I have to say that that's not a scenario. There were some similarities and some not. It was just, I couldn't figure out about the death thing though. Like I couldn't figure out, like, that obviously for me was still embedded in my soul that I needed to release. I think it was more about releasing it, because it was something that was on my radar. Like I had 2 boys. I didn't have any girls, but maybe that's why I had boys.
Yeah.
Right. Is because of that, like they just knew that if they gave me a girl, I wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah, it would be too hard. So I think in that respect, that's why I had boys. I was just surprised at the level of the emotion that came through. That surprised me. Because like I said, I'm not a very I'm emotional, but I'm not super emotional like that. So it was, and I think sometimes you get surprised by things like that. But it does. When I go into the Akash, they will show me, I can always tell when somebody's, like a lot of women have the same problem. Like a lot of us have the same problem. Like we feel like we're, it's just like we're the ones carrying the load and somebody's getting off. Like somebody's not pulling their side of it. Like it is, a lot of that does come up. And they always show it the same. It's funny, like I don't necessarily have to go to a lifetime. They'll just show me the emotion of the lifetime. So they're always at a clothesline and they're always the one putting out the laundry. And then I say, okay, well, what are we doing here? Like, what is the emotion that she has while she's doing this, right? And then I can feel it, right? I can feel their angst or what they're feeling. And then of course that comes through to this lifetime, like how they're feeling unsatisfied and how their needs are not being met with whoever they're with, right? And then it goes from there. But it's just interesting. And I have gone to, I mean, I can go into they have showed me lifetimes that need, I think when I go into a more specific lifetime where it's more detailed, where it's like a castle and I can see the steps and it's more detailed, I think it's because the healing needs to happen. Like a really deep healing needs to happen there where I have to call in the angels to come and heal that, because it's been a very, like I said, it's always back in the before times when things were so terrible. Like, it's very rare you ever got to live, out your life to a ripe old age. Like you were usually starved or killed or, you just didn't do it. There was no cures for your diseases. So yeah.
Well, that makes sense. And even the clothesline, kind of example of where certain patterns, maybe through our lifetimes that we're here to heal, but we find ourselves back in that same pattern. So it's like, it wouldn't be great to get rid of that in this lifetime.
Still,
right? So you don't have to
still
do
doing all the woman's work, hanging the laundry, like doing all the work, right? And just not getting appreciated for it, right? And that's what I talk about when I said about my own symbols, right? Like that's a symbol for me now, right? I can recognize, just like the being in the kayak or the canoe and going up the river. Like I know that we're going somewhere, and where are we going and why aren't you getting there? Like I can start asking those questions. So, but it's my symbolism. You'll have your own symbolism and other people will have their own symbolism. You just have to pay attention, right? And it's I don't keep a journal because I'm lazy. I'm not going to say that I'm wonderful. I'm lazy, but I mean, people have kept journals, I don't like to go back. Like that's the problem with me. Like if I was to journal and to write something down, even though it is useful, I don't like to go back. Like I don't like to go back and read the stuff. Like it's not, to me, life is forward. Life is, out there. It's not in the past. So like for me personally, that's why I don't generally do that. But I'm sure it could be helpful for somebody.
Yeah, thank
Well,
you.
thank you. I made some journal notes when I had a reading with Corinne, and I found it enlightening that she could peg me so well, so accurately. I went in with one question: was the current knee pain that I am experiencing, it's a chronic condition, was it tied to a past life? And she opened up a past life where I was limping on one knee. And yet at the same time, I was walking down a road and like stopping at the cottages along the way and taking care of people in that village. Mm-hmm. It was me in a past life. And it was fascinating. There was some personal stuff she got into based on this character, I'm modeling the same kind of personalities and activities and things. And she pegged it. I just was floored. And then, yeah, stopping at each cottage along the way, giving them the things that they need. Yeah, and developing a village and having a community, and just so much that really resonated for me. So I really felt that it was eye-opening and
Oh, good.
And healing. We did touch
Right.
on some things that needed to be healed, and yeah, sometimes it was affirmation of what I already know.
Yeah, a lot of times it is. And I just want to say too, like, don't get, for people, don't get too caught up in the whatever the past life. Like, yes, they will show it as exactly the way it is here. Like, it's funny how they do that. And it's, again, it's not so important what I'm seeing, it's how I'm feeling. Like, what are the feelings there? Because that's generally what is like, that's the most important part of whatever it is they're showing me, is the feelings. And and then it's them channeling through me. I never take credit for any of it. It's them.
So Mary, is your knee better?
It is, but there's more work to be done, and I know what that work is.
Yeah.
And Tina knows what that work is.
Yeah, I gave a past life reading where a woman was having issues with sciatica, with her sciatic nerve, and immediately was shown that she was shot, like by, like a man on a horse, as she was fleeing a druid celebration. So she had been a witch doctor, healer, a person that was providing, what we call it, woo woo. They would have called it no. And the wound that she suffered was right at the same place that she feels the pain now to this day. And when the guides brought it to her attention, she said, so it was a soldier acting on orders? And I said, yes, because he didn't target her. He was doing his job. And it allowed her a perspective on forgiveness, about perspective on circumstance and on timing, and on, that, like you're talking the hawk, to step back and say, what's the lesson I need to learn from this? How do I break free of this energetic block that has, crippled me, or is crippling me, or is so painful? And I know Tina knows what I'm talking about, where, it's something that is meant, a message that continues through, like what you're talking about, that continues through about that spiritual forgiveness, that spiritual compassion, that are at the way up there, the way up at the top. And not just for the guard or the military guy with the horse and the arrow, but for herself, to understand that compassion needed to come for herself, to know that it was okay that she babied it. It was okay that she called in sick a million times because of it. It was okay that, that all these things had unfolded because of this pain. But having that other layer of understanding about being human and spiritual at the same time, is really quite amazing. It's
because sometimes we have no control over it. Right? Sometimes it's there and we can't, you can go through all the doctors and all the therapists and
the pills,
through everything, and you still can't figure it out. So why not? Like, if you've got tools out there for you, why not just keep looking, just keep trying to get yourself better. So yeah, definitely.
Great. Any other questions before we wrap up?
No.
Okay. So this has been really entertaining and educational. I really
hope so.
appreciate.
Oh, thank you for having me, Mary, and thank you everybody for listening.
Definitely. And I wish everyone a great week and month ahead. We will
Yes.
be back next month on the second Sunday, back to that regular schedule. And Kate will be our guest, talking with us about meeting our guides and, you know, that little tiny voice in your head.
Yeah.
Who is that? Exactly.
Mhm.
So Kate's always full of information about that side, and how we can connect. So and she brings it with a joyful attitude as well. So I'm looking forward to that. So for now, we'll just wish you all a happy Mother's Day for those who are mothers.
Yeah.
And sign off for now. I will be sending out the email with Corinne's information and the recording, and watch for that. If you have any questions for her contact information will be in there in that email. Okay.
Yeah. Be happy to answer questions. Sure.
Thank
Great.
you. That was
Thank you
wonderful.
so much.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah, so good.
Safe travel, Susie.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I really